Hi everyone, I know I'm a bit late in the year for cash envelope videos, but I figured I would start off February with taking out any of the smaller bills that I have in my current envelopes and exchanging them with some of the bigger bills that I have from my tip jar from work. Now, thankfully I work at an establishment where we get cash tips. This is actually my first job where I do, so let's see if we can do that with this. Car payment, I'm gonna leave it as is. Same with my car insurance envelope, because my car payment at the end of the month is $307, but because I wanted to only pull even amounts, I have $154 that I would take out every paycheck, since I'm paid bi-weekly, which gives me about $308 at the end of the month. Now that extra dollar works in my favor because my car insurance is $125, so I do $62 every paycheck, and I get $124. Then that extra dollar gives me $125. And car insurance is actually empty because I'm currently made my insurance payment. Car maintenance, I believe, is where we're gonna start off. So currently at the end of January, my second paycheck, I have $450. I want to try to end up at the end of September at $850, just so that way I have enough to make my car registration payment while still having a good amount of money in this envelope. So let's see, we have, now this one, it's not very particular for me to have a certain denomination in, like certain like bills. But I mean, it's not like I use this on the regular, so there's no real need to have like some ones. I do need to go get my oil changed, and thankfully Jiffy Lube lets you sit in your car for the oil changes, which is great for me because I'm still a little bit paranoid about having people be in my car. So far it doesn't look like we have that much to be exchanging. We could probably do some 20s, and we can even do maybe a 50 with what we got. So I'm put that aside so I don't get confused. So 10, 20. We got here 50. So 50 here. Right there. And we've got 20, 40. Now because I believe my oil change is going to be about $60, I'm going to leave 110 here, and actually it looks like I'm going to leave 2 10s, so we'll do $20. And now, just to be on the safe side and make sure that I do still have $450, let's double check these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 and a 5, so we shall change that actually for a 10. Okay, so now let's try it again. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 420, 430, 440, 450. Perfect. Great. Now I know some are gonna be like, why aren't you putting them all facing the same way? Honestly, that doesn't bother me, which I know for me is surprising, but it's not that big of a deal. Now gas, the way I break down gas is I put $5 every paycheck, and normally it takes about $35 to fill up my tank. So I just got gas. So let me actually add that real quick. Need a pants. I did actually have, I know it was $34. So I actually need to have $1, but you'll see that in my next video that I did end up pulling that extra dollar. Now I got gas. Let's check the receipts, because thankfully I'm that person and I keep the receipts. Okay, so I got gas from Sam's for $34 on the 1st of February. So now I could put the exact amount, so it would be $34.19, but I don't really want to have change in my envelopes or have a specific area for change. So to make my life easier and then the bank teller, I'm just gonna round it off at $34. So that, okay. So now these dividers, I ended up just making my own labels, but I got the dividers on Etsy. So I'll link it in the description if you guys want to know. Kaiser, now you'll see here I have refills, which I'm actually almost due for a refill. And thankfully, I only have to pay $41 for the 2 that I need. So let's see, we got $90. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 6, 87, 88, 89, 90. So $30. Oops, hello. Sorry guys, had a bit of a brain fart moment with math. 10, 20, 30, 35, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually, I think I'm gonna leave this as is. If anything, I actually think I'm gonna break the 50 into 20s, just because when I go and deposit the money, it'll be easier for me to do it this way. Alrighty, so we got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Perfect. So that way it's much easier. Now, what I do for my envelopes, because I generally don't carry cash, what I do is I have my envelopes, but then I use my credit card whenever I make a purchase. So when it comes to making, like, say, my refill order, I'm just going to take the $41 from the envelope and then deposit it towards my credit card. School, I don't need to worry about, because right now, any amount, I was actually short on how much money I saved for my textbooks. So right now, I have a negative $32 balance since I made it for my credit card again. Anytime I get cash for this envelope, I just immediately deposit it into my credit card. Birthdays, now this is including my sister, my mother, and my father. Now my sister's birthday is March 31st, so I have some time. So my sister's getting $25 budget, and both of my parents are $55. So it ends up being about $13 that I would need to save for each person. So $26 is what we've got. Now, I had laminated cash trackers, but it was honestly like a little bit annoying for me, because once I got to the end, I had to erase everything. So it didn't really make much sense to me to keep erasing. And I'm like, I've got 1,000 flashcards from school, so might as well just use them. So 2 10s, we're exchanging it for a 20. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to exchange this for 5. Actually, let's move this a little bit. Now see, in this case, I do get the good part of having that acrylic divider. But again, I mean, it's a small inconvenience, and I don't have to spend that much money on something like that. I do like the idea, so maybe, I don't know, if I find a cheaper option, I'll consider getting one. And these are all singles. Okay, perfect. I know it's a little bit squished. All right, $26. And then Christmas, I'm trying to do a $200 budget, and I always buy my Christmas gifts early, so November, that's gift buying month. That way I don't have to freak out. So each person is getting $66 budget, so I should have $18 so far. So we've got 5. These are all singles. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So almost there for a 10, but we will switch out these for a 10. So actually this is gonna look weird. So 10, 10. And now I'm gonna switch out some of these singles for a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. And honestly, if you're on the fence about doing the cash envelopes, at the very least, I do recommend making one for Christmas time if you celebrate Christmas, just because I know like around this time of month, I would always be so, you know, like freaked out about gifts, but I was also like, okay, well, great, that's like $100 to $200 out of my bank account all at once. This way, I have the money set aside, I budgeted for it. Come Christmas time, you know, it's not like a huge hit to my wallet whenever I go to buy a gift. Now, moving out, I currently live with my parents, but I do pay rent. So this is just for, you know, thankfully they're not in a hurry to kick me out. And due to everything with the pandemic, I'm not in the big hurry to move out. But I do still want to start setting money aside for it. So I want to try to save about $4,500. But we'll see. That was just a loose number. So right now, I need to have $66. And you'll see here that the money I added in is different each time. I want to try to do $25 a paycheck. It only fluctuated here because I needed the extra dollars for a different bill. So that's the good thing about cash envelopes, is you can tweak it to whichever way you want in any way that benefits you. Okay, so 20, 40, 50. So let's get 50. 5, 10, 15, 16. So swap out the 5s for 10. Now, what I actually do with my tips is once I feel like they get big enough, I do go and get them exchanged at the bank. So, I did that in the wrong order. 50, 60, 65, 66. So, I actually have these little clips. I'll show you in just a moment. And I section off my singles by $10, so that way I end up just counting 10, 20, 30, and once it gets 100, that's when I go and exchange it for a $100 bill. Rent I already paid, so that's empty. Now it's me, my sister, and my parents that live in this house, and we actually had to move at the beginning of the pandemic. We were moving in the first week of March, or was it February? Maybe February, I believe. So we all split it, and my sister and I each give $200 for the rent. Taxes. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to give or how much they're gonna take in terms of taxes, so I just want to be on the safe side. Thankfully, last year they only took roughly about $60, I think, somewhere around that. But I want to be extra safe this year because I think I've been working more, so that means they're gonna take more. So I'm trying to aim for $90. So right now I have 15, so it's not gonna be anything I can exchange there. Haircut, this was from before everything. I actually have a section in my binder for the done envelopes. So haircut already has, I used to go to like a Supercut, and no offense to anybody who works there, but for me personally in my area, it never was cut exactly how I wanted it. So what I did is I splurged one day and I went to a salon in town, and it's nice, like the kind of salon where they shampoo and wash your hair for no extra charge. They give you juice and water in a wine cup, so it is a nice place. So it was about $40, and I left the lady a $5 tip, and now that's my place. But because, again, it's a $40 haircut, or 45, I guess I should say, I only get my haircut twice a year. One in like summertime, early summer, and then at the end of the year around December. So I had already saved the money for the haircut, and then Corona hit. So my hair has not been cut in over a year. Part of me is thinking about going just because that way I can help support my stylist and her kids and her family. But again, I'm still very hesitant to do that. So when I do ever start saving up for haircut again, I have an envelope ready for that. So that was all my sinking funds, and they're pretty good. My credit card is not in here because I used to put money in this envelope, but then I was just putting it right into the bank, so it didn't make sense. So I just keep it in my account whenever I get paid, and then I just deposited it into there. But yeah, and I have some extra envelopes for whenever the need arises. So let's check. We actually ended up not really exchanging much. So let's see how much this all came out. Most of this actually goes into the tips itself. Okay, so now let's see. The singles I'll end up dealing with later. Oh yeah, but see, these are the clips I was telling you about, so all I have to do is slide them off, and now it's easier to keep track of the singles. So when I come to the point where I'm like, probably time to go exchange some bills, I'm not counting like 100 singles. I just have to count the little clips. So let's see. Now, I know some of you may not approve, but my tip jar is solely for my tattoos or any piercings I want to get. And I only use this money. I don't pull from my card. I don't pull from savings. All it is this. So if I don't have the money for the tips, then I don't. But I also have to consider that, like my company, I am a barista for a coffee company. You can go ahead and take a guess of which company I work for. But I had a small store and it closed down. So me and my partners all had to move to a different store. So at that point, was I going to find a new place to work at relatively soon? Was I going to be able to make enough payments? Thankfully, this system does tend to help. So I was okay on bills, but, that up in the air moment, made me question it. So all my tips, while the grand idea is for tattoos only. If, you know, heaven forbid, I get laid off or there's another shutdown that affects my company, I will have this, and, you know, at the end of the day, bills, food, whatever, that is gonna come first before some ink on my skin. So if I have to use this for that, totally fine for it. I just want to keep it as much for my tattoo fun as much as possible, but it's here, it's set aside, I don't touch it, and that's that. Alrighty, you guys, thank you for watching my first video. Like, subscribe, and, you know, leave me a comment. You know, I'm in my mid-20s, so to speak, and I only have one income, and I'm trying to do schooling, so let me know. Are you about my age and you're doing this? Are you older and you're doing this? You know, let me know. From what I've seen on YouTube, this is a really great community, and, you know, we all encourage each other. If you guys have some tips that you think I should do, or if you ever catch me adding wrong, let me know. We're all here to help each other. That's, at the end of the day, you know, let's keep this a positive community, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye!